Everybody, this is just a overtime for Uncle Tom's Extravaganza, and me and my dad are just here sitting here talking about what happened in Philadelphia, and we're sitting there not understanding why people are so up in arms over this justified shooting. We don't understand why people are up in arms over a cop who kills somebody when they runs at him with a knife. And I think, as I was telling you, Daddy, I think black people have gotten to a point where they believe that no matter what they do, that the police shouldn't have a right to shoot them. That when they do dumb stuff, when they break the law clearly in front of cops, they believe that they should be immune from any type of consequence. Now, I don't know where they get this from. I have no idea where black people get this from. Where,
That's
well,
that's
if
that victim mentality. That's where that comes from. But they're
yeah,
not really the victim. They're the aggressor. And what happens with an aggressor is that the police have been taught to use deadly force. If you come in at the police with a weapon, knife, taser, whatever,
uh-huh,
they're gonna use deadly force.
every
They've been
single time.
trained. That's the way they're trained. Now I'm not saying that some of these shootings weren't justified, but many of them that have seen, they have been justified one way or another. And uh you can turn around and talk about how you going, if it was if they were out there with a social worker or a psychologist, things would come on now. Come on, people. When somebody gets angry and somebody gets mad and somebody has it in their mind that the police are their
That's what's
enemy
crazy to me.
and they come after them like that, then I can't see no other way. You know,
I
it
think
has.
that's what's messing people up.
Oh yeah,
Is there's a code of conduct apparently for police officers, but with black people, there's no code of conduct for how we have to act in our interactions with the police. That's what's crazy to me. Like nobody ever says, "Well, you know what? Why didn't George Floyd just do what the officer said to do?" Have you ever heard somebody say that on
yeah,
mainstream
yeah,
television?
yeah.
Well, why didn't he just comply until he got down to the station? Why didn't he just do what they said to do? Why is it not okay for you as a black man when you get pulled over? Why is it not okay for you to just comply? This isn't like a thing where like what's the name of the guy? I think it's Philando Castile. This isn't like something like that where
Right.
I can see people being upset. All right. I can possibly see people being upset with that. Okay. But in a lot of these cases, I would say 9 times out of 10 when I'm looking at these, I'm thinking to myself, there's never been a black person or a significant black voice who asked the question, okay, the officer did this, but what could of the victim had done to make things better? What could he have done to make this not go that way?
You know what? I think that they don't factor in a lot of these situations, even with George Floyd, and probably some of the other ones, is that these people were probably under the influence. The guy I think in Atlanta that was talking, respectfully to the police and everything, and all of a sudden he just starts running and trying to shoot the police with the taser or whatever. It's like I think they don't factor the fact that these people are under the influence sometimes, and policemen are trained. Now, if a guy is running away and the police just shoots him in the back, that's another thing. But in most of these cases, these people were being aggressive and coming after the police. That's a whole nother story. And if you do that, they are taught, and I was taught when I was in the service, this is how deadly force works, and this is what you do. It ain't like you shoot the person in the leg
Yep.
or you shoot him in the arm. You shoot him in the arm, and they never taught us that.
Yep.
You shoot dead center and you shoot to kill.
You shoot to kill.
That's
You
deadly
you
force.
shoot to stop them. You shoot
Right.
to
Exactly.
neutralize them as a threat.
Neutralize the threat. You
That's
neutralize the
exactly
threat.
what you do. So I
If
don't
somebody's
understand.
coming in, if somebody's coming in, somebody breaking your house and is coming after your family, you're not gonna, well, I think I'm gonna try to shoot him in the leg. No, 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 no.
Is
They
there
are.
any culpability? Are black people ever held culpable for some of these incidents happening? I never see it.
No.
I never see somebody saying, you know what, maybe the guy should have put the knives down. and just complied. You know,
No,
like
no,
what would happen if he just complied?
we're
Like,
not going.
what is wrong with compliance?
Right. We're not gonna think and see what they do. Normally what happens like this, they build on a narrative like with Taylor. The narrative was she was in bed and she was asleep. No, she wasn't. She was out there doing whatever it was she's doing. I'm not saying that she deserved to die, but uh it wasn't what the media wanted us to believe. It wasn't a no knock, it was a no knock warrant, but they were knocking. They heard.
And
And
what's
then
and
dude
what's funny is that the neighbors even said that they heard
exactly,
and saw the police knock. So all
exactly.
the people saying, "Oh, they shouldn't execute no knock warrants." Well, they didn't do that. They knocked.
Right,
If
exactly.
if 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 anything, that strengthens the case of why they should have not knocked. Why they
Right,
should have just busted down the door
right.
without giving them
Now
a chance to
now
prepare for it.
yeah, now let's get to the root of the problem, which is never discussed. Why not teach your young people, teach your daughter, teach your son, look, you don't hang around with thugs. You don't associate with these people because these people,
Uh,
they can get you in trouble.
uh,
That's what that issue was. She's hanging around with these guys that's using her. They
well,
doing
that's a culture,
drugs,
Daddy. We love to
culture,
our women now,
bad
especially
culture.
a lot of black women now love the thug love. They love the thug loving. You know,
And they got that's a cost to
they
pay.
they love the thug love. They love the street guys, and so it's a
That's
thing
a
to them,
cost to
and
pay.
it's a cultural thing. And then when something happens as a result of you
Bad
being
culture,
associated with, then it's the other people's fault. You know,
bad culture.
so I don't know. Maybe that's why people get mad at me and call us Uncle Toms all the time because we say, don't black people share some responsibility for police shootings? Like, isn't how you react and how you respond directly going to be connected to what happens usually during a arrest? How many times do I see Negroes running and jumping out of cars and making things more difficult than what it has to be? And
Yeah,
then
I
when they
never
get beat
understood that.
down, it's the cop's fault. Well, they
Right.
didn't have to do all that.
That's why I
Well,
say
the guy didn't have to do all that either. He didn't have to
right,
jump out the car and run.
right. That's why I say I think a lot of these people were under the influence of something because
Yeah.
why would you do that if unless you really guilty unless you did something and you're fearing that they're
Oh
gonna
wait,
put you in jail.
I can hear the liberals now.
Right.
I can hear the liberals saying, "Well, it's because as a black man, they're scared. They're
Please.
scared. They're in fear when they're pulled over by the police." Now, I'll say this: you should be in fear if a cop pulls you over, especially if you did something wrong. But I've never been afraid of the police when I got pulled over when I knew that all my ducks were in a row. I knew all my registration was good. I knew my
Right.
sickness was good. I knew I didn't do nothing. I was like, all right, whatever you think I did, if you want to write me a ticket, go on and write that ticket, man. I'll show up in court and I'll fight it. I'm
Right.
gonna have my hands
I ain't doing
turned.
something. I ain't doing nothing stupid.
Yep. I ain't doing nothing dumb that's gonna get me shot up or have you pull out the nightsticks and start beating me down. Like it's just not worth it. I don't know why other people don't do this. So now we have I still don't even know why in Philadelphia they're rioting and looting. I don't.
Does that make any kind of sense?
I don't know why they're rioting and looting. You know.
Blowing up they going around blowing up ATMs to get to take the money out. And
Yeah, yeah, because that
remember
helps.
the story I told you about my father, what my father said?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what's going on. It's crazy. If you have any kind of morals or values about your life, if you have any kind of boundaries in your life, you don't participate in that kind of foolishness. They they on camera with the reporters recording them getting out of their cars, walking through the break in the window of Target or Walmart, coming out with a big screen TV, putting it in your car and closing your trunk or closing your door, and there your license plates right there on the thing.
Yeah,
How
well, because a big screen TV is going to make up for all of the white supremacy that's been going on.
stupid
You know, a big screen TV is going to make up uh,
Right.
for slavery. It's going to make up for what they believe that the white man owes them. That's why. That's why it's cool. That's why it's okay for them to go and take the TV, because for years they've been taken from us. To quote the great Tupac Shakur, he said, "I'm taking from them because for years they would take from me." That's their justification. That's why they're running up in the store and looting, and they're like, "Well, we didn't have it anyway, so I might as well take it from them." Meanwhile, they'll be the first people mad and upset when people don't decide to open up businesses in their neighborhoods anymore.
Exactly.
When they close it down permanently and move to
Right.
somewhere else, then they're going to be crying, "Racism.
Right. And
They
your
don't want
mama
to give us
have,
jobs over
you don't
here."
have anywhere to go. You don't have anywhere to go. You have to go way outside your community, but it's what you did to your own
You
community.
gotta go way outside of your community, and guess what? You gotta shop with the bougie white folk who now are gonna be looking at you, following you throughout the store because they
Why are
know that
you
you don't live
why
over
are
here.
you why are you in my
Yeah,
neighborhood?
because they know that you don't live over here. Because watch this, black people. They didn't watch y'all burn down your own stores, and the white folks ain't going for you burning down their stores.
Right.
So they're gonna be like, you know what? We ain't letting this happen up here. Watch that Negro over there. That's exactly what they're going to do. And so when people get mad at me because I say that, I don't understand. I don't understand why every time somebody gets shot and killed, why somebody has an interaction or a run-in with the police, people rise up as if this guy was the second coming of Ben Carson. I don't understand it. Like, this guy was curing cancer. This guy was doing brain surgery. This guy was
You
coming
know
up with
what?
an invention that was changing the world.
You know what? It's
All of
it's
a sudden,
it's
we're all
conditioning.
mad.
They're being conditioned. They're being conditioned, and I believe that these uh situations sometimes are done specifically with uh, the idea that it is going to cause uh, a lot of these things happen because that's exactly what they want to happen. They want it to revolt. And then if you flip the other side of coin of that, that guy Cal Rittenhouse. Now all the black people come out and accuse this guy of being a racist. When what he was doing, this kid was helping his community. He had came out and he brought his weapon with him because he knew that he probably was going to get confronted by some bad people. But they showed him earlier what he didn't see on the mainstream media. He was getting graffiti off of somebody's church. Then they showed him putting out a fire that they had tried to start in a dumpster. And then when he was attacked, they show him getting attacked by these people. That's when he shot these guys that attacked him. The first guy that shot him, I think that first guy died. And then the second guy, he shot him in the arm, but the guy was getting ready to shoot him, and it was kill or be killed. And so they're gonna try to label this kid a racist when that's far from what he was trying to do. He was, and the thing was, is that the two people that he shot were white people. Being racist.
And I think that's what makes it so funny to me. That's what makes it so funny to me. So, as you're watching this overflow show, I know my dad got to get out of here and get some
Yeah, I
wings
gotta
or
get my
something.
food,
But
man.
I just wanted to ask that question for the YouTube audience because they don't get to see the Uncle Tom Extravaganza full show over here. But I figured I'd give them an overflow show. So thank you for joining me on my channel. If you guys like this, join my father's Facebook audience where we broadcast the Uncle Tom Extravaganza podcast in its entirety every Sunday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think you'll like the podcast, especially if you're a lover of truth and you're a lover of conservatism. And so I'm looking forward to next week when I hear all of the people crying over the election that's gone wrong again. And I want to see people's face. And I'm thinking about getting champagne and sipping champagne, of course, non-alcoholic champagne. But I'm thinking about celebrating, and I think it's going to be quite funny and interesting to watch. So, well, until next time, and hopefully there's no riots this week because somebody lost or nothing else happens as a result of somebody losing. Until next time, next week, we'll see you next time on Uncle
Keep
Tom's
on praying.
Extravaganza.